Hello, everyone. You're welcome to the 12 noon session of the DKT virtual career series, and we're joined by kepak for this particular session, focusing in on science and agriculture today. We're delighted to have kepak involved in our series this year. They have been engaged with DKT over the years in different ways, in the past at our face-to-face fairs, and of course in these present circumstances in our virtual environment. And we're joined today by Ellen and James from the team, who are going to take you through a presentation and insight into the graduate opportunities available at kepak. Like all sessions, we really do encourage you to drop any questions or comments you have into the chat or questions function, and we will deal with those at a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. Without further ado, I'll hand over to Ellen, who'll take you through the presentation. Thanks, Ellen.
Thanks very much, Catherine, for that introduction. And yes, we are kepak, and we're here to talk about the graduate management program. I think I was actually on site myself for your last in-person careers fair, so it was great to actually get on canvas and to meet the students in person. And then this is the next best thing, and please God, we'll be back on canvas sooner rather than later to see all the students in person again. So myself, my name's Ellen Buckley. I'm the Group HR Generalist with kepak, and I'm joined by James McGahern, who's one of our previous graduates as well, who'll share his experience. So I'm going to run through, we just have a short presentation for you guys here today. So what we're going to run through is who are kepak, what's the kepak Graduate Management Program, who we're looking for, and the graduate experience but myself, I'm a previous graduate, and James, and then how to apply. So who are kepak? So kepak, we're a meat company. We deal with the primary processing of pork, beef and lamb products. We've been in operation since 1966. So our founder, Noel Keating, he's from Ennis, County Clare, and he came up to Dublin and opened up a butcher shop on Francis Street in Dublin. And that's where the story began. He then purchased a site in Clonee, which is just on the border between Dublin and Meath. And that was our first site, kepak Clonee, and it was a beef processing facility. So that was bought in 81. Then in 83, he also purchased the kepak farm. So that's just outside, about 10 minutes from our site in Clonee. And we use that now as a centre of excellence for farming. And then in 1991, the Thatch was built. So that's our iconic head office building. That's the building I work in myself, and that's where the head of the companies would sit, and everything kind of works out from there. And then to see where kepak are today. So we're still a family-owned company, which is brilliant, and to have the family so readily involved in the business is brilliant, and to speak to them on a regular basis. We're active in over 43 countries globally. We have 4,500 staff across the business, so that's between Ireland and the UK. 1.45 billion in revenue was turned over as well. We've 12 manufacturing sites in total, so we've 8 in Ireland and 4 in the UK, and I'll run through them with you now. We've strong value-added proposition and capabilities as well within the business, as well as the primary processing of beef, lamb and pork as well. So at kepak, we would say meat is at our heart, innovation is our driver, and nutrition is our future. So meat is central to everything we do. We are a meat company, and that's how we started off day one. At our heart, it's embedded within us. It's our lifeblood, and it's what we've built our company on. And then the innovation, we see innovation as the future. It motivates and directs everything we do, constantly thinking up of new products, new areas we can move into, and always thinking of the future, basically. Nutrition as well satisfies our customer and consumer needs and the future. We think of our stakeholders, our suppliers, our customers, and our employees in everything that we do as well. So in terms of our global sales offices, so we have offices, as you can see, across the world. We have offices in the US, in Ireland, the UK, France, Africa, and China. A lot of these would be markets that we would work with, and we would sell products that wouldn't maybe be palatable to the European consumer market, something that may be more palatable in the African market or the Asian market. So we're constantly looking to broaden our business across different markets. In terms of our manufacturing sites, so you can see there where we're based across Ireland and the UK. So in terms of our lamb capabilities, we have 3 slaughter halls and 3 boning halls. So you can see there in, I don't know if you can see my mouse, in Athleague, County Roscommon, up in Scotland and in Wales. So we process process 1.5 million lamb per annum. Then we have 8 beef slaughtering halls and 9 boning halls and process about 500,000 cattle per annum. So you can see there all of the sites in red. Beef would be our biggest area in the meat processing side, so it would be in a lot of our sites. We've one pork processing facility, and that's where my colleague James is based, and that's in McCarran's, County Cavan, with a processing capability of about 350,000 pigs per annum. And James may correct me on that now to the most up-to-date figure, but that's what it would average out as. And then we have 4 value-added sites, so that has the ability for about 50,000 tonnes of value-added products per annum. So we'd have our Kirkham site here, which would be your Rustler's Burger and your Rustler's range. We've Ballybay in County Monaghan, which is our burger processing facility. We also have Papeterie, and then Cork, who have both slow cooked and retail sides of the business. Then we have 2 dedicated retail and food service packaging facilities. So we have a huge range of different capabilities within our manufacturing sites in Ireland, and that's what would span our 4,500 staff across Ireland and the UK. So then our brand offering, you may recognise some of the brands there. So some that you may know are the Rustler's Burgers, the Strip Snacks, Big Al's. The Rustlers would be a really popular one and would be huge in the UK, and that you'd recognise from the shelves. In terms of our customers, we've over 100 blue chip retail and food service customers. So you definitely would recognise some of these brands. So your Tesco, Hard Rock, the Circle K, Burger King, Centra, SuperValu, McDonald's, TGI Fridays. So a lot of you may have actually consumed kepak product without ever realising it was a kepak product. We would be a supplier into a lot of these companies. Burger King would be one of our big customers. So we would be one of the main suppliers to Burger King burgers in Ireland and the UK, all out of our burger processing facility up in Monaghan. So what we do, we have 2 divisions within kepak. So we have our meat division and our foods division. And we're looking to recruit graduates for both of our divisions within the company. So what is the kepak Graduate Management Programme? So the kepak Graduate Management Programme has been successfully run for over 30 years in some form or the other. A lot of our senior managers have actually come through the programme from site manager, which would be the most senior role within each site. People have actually started the company as graduates, so it's a great testament to how we empower our graduates to seek the senior roles within their sites. We're seeking to recruit graduates from all disciplines across Ireland and the UK. We're currently looking for graduates to, as I said, to both join our meat division and the foods division. So building your career with us, the kepak Graduate Programme gives a dynamic, hardworking and committed graduates an opportunity to join our diverse team. It is a 2-year programme and leads to successful graduates onto potential careers opportunities within the business. So from day one, you'd be immersed in the kepak company and culture, working closely with key industry experts and leaders. You have the opportunity to work in various departments in the factory, from office to marketing through different projects. Learn different aspects of the business while finding the role that best fits your skills and interests within the company. Hone personal and professional development skills across various tasks and projects, and receive personal mentorship and a tailored development plan towards you. And you'd also have training along with that. So another overview of the programme, like I said, it is a 2-year programme, and you'd have a tailored development plan towards you. You'd have a dedicated mentor with regular feedback and appraisals. We also have a buddy system where you'd be paired up with someone who's previously gone through the graduate programme. And it's a great kind of point of contact to run questions that you might necessarily go to your supervisor about. And they can just kind of give you the lay of the land and advice on different situations that you'd come across. We've early access to senior leaders. So our senior leaders within the business are hugely invested in the graduate programme. They've seen how it's worked, and they really do see the graduates as the future of the business. So after the first year of the graduate programme, you would give a presentation to our senior management team on your year on the programme, how it's impacted you and where you see yourself going. So it's great for them to know your name and to then watch your career then working your way through the business. You'd also complete a level 6 diploma with IBEC and TU Dublin, and this is a diploma in professional competence. So this is a course that's been developed by IBEC and TU Dublin specifically for graduates and new entrants into business. So it's specifically for those who to kind of hone in on the professional skills from management to leadership to teamwork, project work, really kind of further equipping you for the working world. And we think it's a great to continue on the learning journey from college, and not just to kind of to stop and just go straight into work. And it's great to have another degree on the belt as well. So there's two options for your graduate journey. We have a rotational system or a streamlined road within our two divisions. So rotational, you'd be based on one of our sites and you would rotate amongst the different departments within the business in your first year to kind of help you fully understand the process from the start. So from our abattoir to the boning hall, supply chain, health and safety, HR, to really understand how each department functions together, how they each rely on each other, and understand the process from the start. And James will probably run through that more with you with his experience. Or we'd all have then a streamlined role. So say if you're a graduate who is, I'm supply chain in and out, that's what I want to go into, or I'm marketing in and out, that's what I want to go into. We do have opportunities for people to go into streamlined graduate programs and would come in as a marketing graduate or a supply chain graduate. And throughout the process, we'll be asking your preference on that and where you kind of want to see your career going. So growing your career at kepak, some successful graduates have progressed on to careers in account management, commercial management, production and supervision, site management, new product development, human resources, marketing, finance and supply chain. And if you have a look at our website, even if you just click onto kepak.com, there's a drop down for graduates. You can see some graduate stories and how they progressed through the business. And we also have a number of videos up there as well. So it's great to kind of put faces to the journeys. I might just pass you over then now to my colleague James O'Gahern, who joined onto our graduate program in 2019, I'm going to say, James.
Yeah, that's it, Charlie. Hello, folks. How's things? Thanks, Helen, for the introduction there. My name is James O'Gahern, folks. I work with kepak for the last 2 years, and I'm based in the McCarran Meat site here in County Cavan. We are a pork and bacon processing plant that was set up by John McCarran in 1860. So it's a well-established company going back many generations of the McCarran family, which are still invested in the business at the minute. The business was originally built, I suppose, for the sale of live animals to the UK over the different slaughtering plants throughout the UK, over to Leeds and such. I suppose going into more present times, Kepak acquired the site in 2013. And things started open up in terms of McCarran's and different markets and so on like that. So as Ellen said, I started back in 2019. I started off in the logistics department. I suppose I came from an agricultural science background myself. I graduated in 2019 in UCD, majoring in ag environmental science. When I first entered Kepak back in August of 19, I suppose I didn't know what to make of the working world. I sort of still wanted to live as a student, but unfortunately, it had to end for everybody that year. But no, it was definitely a good change. It brought structure and I suppose back into the working world. Unfortunately, throughout my time in Kepak, I was only in the business about 6 months before COVID hit, so it brought more challenges than what was anticipated for the future, definitely, and still ongoing, unfortunately. But hopefully, we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Fingers crossed, the next month or so. So as I was saying, I started off in the logistics department. Working alongside logistics manager Paul Smith. Here, I started off on the dispatch floor, just getting to know all the ins and outs of the logistics department, getting to know different products and getting to know where and who they were going to as well. I suppose this was very important to me, and I sort of now thinking back on it, it was a great experience to get that sort of on the floor knowledge, of knowing, getting to know the customers, getting to know their products, getting to know their boxes, their pallets, and so on like that. So I spent 4 months on the dispatch floor, just getting to know everything, and getting to know a bit about exporting loads as well. We have a contract in China. We send a lot of our products to China, the likes of Australia and Canada as well, and a lot to Korea as well. So them markets I was able to get more knowledge on as well, which I would have never done before. Um, I suppose come Christmas time, Paul brought me up to the office, and he asked me would I be able to sit with him for a few days while working on the floor as well, so I get to know a deeper knowledge of the whole logistics department as a whole, and have a more office based role at that. Um, in and around Christmas time, as you can imagine, we were very busy in regards to our baking plant. We are doing over 70 ton curing a week, coming up to Christmas, so the likes of Christmas hams and hampers and different stuff like that. Um, at the time, Paul was like, "Look, things get very busy, and I suppose it's a sink or swim moment." He says he's going to throw me in the deep end, but I can safely say that it was one of the best things that he done. Um, and he was always there to guide me on certain things. If there's anything I didn't know, or that, he was always there. And a simple 2 minute question, and a 2 minute answer, could save a lot of hours lost in thinking about it yourself, and getting worried about it as well. After Christmas, I then proceeded to go into the more frozen end of things, into the frozen logistics department there. That's where I started off properly dealing with sort of customers and hauliers and cold stores in regards to sending out loads to the likes of China, Canada, Korea, the UK as well, and parts of Europe as well. So like that, it was another a new venture that I wouldn't really have been familiar on as well. But it was great, and the thing about it was when I was on the floor and I was in the freezers, when I first started off, I got to know the products, I got to know their boxes, I got to know, even though I wasn't at the time directly in the boning hall, I got to know the specs of the products, and to know, well, this is what needs to be done to this pallet, and this is what needs to be done with that pallet. So I suppose at the start, it was a big help to me, and the knowledge I gained at the time. Um, After Christmas, then I suppose it was in the middle of May time, or March, when COVID hit. So that sort of brought a whole different supply chain issues along with it, in regards to a cold storage space, and people panic buying and different things like that. So I suppose we got busy in a sense too, after the Christmas lull. Things started to pick up again, and we started to produce more and more, which brought issues around in terms of cold storage, and traffic management and all that. So I suppose crisis moments hit me in my job, and getting stuff out to the likes of Europe and England as well, which is very challenging, especially with, I suppose, we have the COVID passport now, but unfortunately at the time nobody knew what this disease was going to bring. So that faced other challenges as well. But it was great. It was a great experience. I suppose a high pressure situation, and just dealing with the problems. And I suppose, as I said earlier, there's always somebody there to ask. Paul was always there to answer any question that I had. Paul's been in the business over 10 years now. He's a senior logistics manager in McCarran's here, and he knows every nook and cranny of the spa as well. And he knows a lot, not only in the logistics department, but in some other departments as well. Um, Back in the summer, I suppose last year, during COVID, I moved out of the logistics department, and I moved into the technical department. Here I was a quality controller, and I went around the factory ensuring that all products all their specs were being complied to, and all the HACCP regulations and board BA quality approvals were all in place. This is another area that I suppose I was always in when I was in UCD. I studied a lot in the laboratory, so I suppose it was sort of a different thing that I would have done the logistics, but it sort of came together for me then through college as well. So again, they were able to throughout the graduate program. I was on the rotation, so this was my next rotation. So after spending a few months in technical, I actually moved back to the logistics department as things were getting tight there with Brexit deadlines coming up and customs declarations and things like that. So I moved back there to, I don't know if you'd say help Paul, but I was there anyway. It was like that. Brexit was another big issue and a big cloud over all our heads. So it was great to sort of get the knowledge of it from Paul and other external representatives as well that we met in regards to Brexit. Um, so I'm only after recently there joining the operations team now. I'm training as a operations manager at the minute. I'm over operations supervisor on one of the four end lines here in McCarran Meats at the minute. So things are getting very busy coming up to Christmas. As I was saying earlier, we're able to cure over 80 tons a week, and we're able to physically bone out nearly 800 tons a week currently on site with plans to expand that as well. So I suppose overall the graduate program for me it was very enjoyable at the start. Aside from my role, I suppose there was a lot of learning involved, a lot of different training days, which was very, very good and very beneficial as well. The likes of presentation skills. No, it mightn't come across today, but presentation skills, Excel training, time management skills, um, different assertive communication, all that teamwork, team bonding skills as well. So all of this is taught throughout the KEPAC graduate program as well, and it really stands. I suppose at the time when we're doing them, when we're sitting in front of a screen or in front of somebody and they're teaching you about these things, you're wondering how can this relate to you. But when you actually physically step onto a bone hall floor or onto any production line or floor, these skills come in very, very handy. And you sort of get to apply them in everyday life as well. In my second year of the graduate program, I completed the IBEC course with TUD that Ellen was just mentioning there. Like that was in professional competence as well. This covered a wide range of topics such as leadership, motivation, teamwork, and so on like that. This course was fantastic. It was absolutely brilliant, I thought, and it worked well for me because I was going to be applying this stuff in the work more like the likes of leadership and teamwork as well. I suppose from a production point of view, if your team isn't working together, stuff doesn't be produced at the end of the day. So the likes of that, good leadership and communication skills. I suppose going forward, communication was the one thing that stood out in my mind. If poor communication is held throughout the whole any business, poor outputs are coming. Their start, and it leads into other conflicts and the likes of teamwork. Teamwork goes down because there's poor communication and so on. So this course really, really benefited me. Um, Truly, now I have to say, throughout I suppose throughout last year and coming into this year, I completed a master's in food business management as well. I did this part time as well as work, and I have to say, Keepak were very supportive of me doing the masters as well, and egged me on to do it. Christine, another colleague of ours, and Ellen's always pushed on to, I suppose, do these courses and better ourselves. Because in the long run, these courses do affect the way you work and how you work as well. So, and there's always a benefit to that as well. I suppose throughout my 2 and a bit years in kepak, we've along with the training days, we uh, we visited all the sites, bar the UK sites, unfortunately, because of COVID. But in the near future, we'll be able to get back on site to different sites, and things will hopefully be back to normal as well. So, to any oncoming graduates, I suppose it's why would you apply? I suppose it's a great company to work for. Everybody is very honest about their work, and they're very friendly about it as well. If there's any question, or if there's any problems within the business, they're sorted out. They're sorted out there, and then if you have a problem and you need it dealt with, as in it might be the smallest problems, there's always somebody there to listen, and always someone there to answer your question as well. So there's no point and being flustered or bothered or under pressure about it. There's always somebody that'll be able to help you. Um, in regards to the courses as well and the training days, they're very, very good. They're very, very interesting. And like that, as I said, the benefited me throughout my whole journey through kepak, throughout the logistics department, throughout the technical department, and now in the operations department as well. So all these skills are transferable, and even what you're doing in college at the minute, you'll start to realize your skills, your report writing, your essay writing, your assignments, all your practical stuff as well. You'll realize that all this fits in together. Um, so I suppose thanks very much for letting me speak there today. I'm going to hand you back over to Ellen there now. Well, thanks very much.
That's brilliant. Thanks very much, James, and it's great to get an insight into someone else's experience on the graduate program. And you've really made an impression of gotten a great base for your career with McCarnes and with kepak. And then just briefly, I know I'm conscious of time now, but I myself did the graduate program. I started the graduate program in 2018. I studied, like James, who both studied ag science in UCD. I specialised in animal and crop production. Started off on a rotational program, just like James, but I was based in our site in Clanny, County Meath, and I was doing my rotations from the abattoir to the boning hall, in operations, and then I did a rotation in HR, and I just haven't left. So I very much enjoyed my rotation. I was lucky enough that a position opened up in head office for a HR graduate. I didn't study HR, I studied ag science. So that's the beauty of a graduate program, that you could be exposed to an area that you never really expected to get into. And like James was saying about the education, I both did the IBEC course, but then kepak supported me to go back to college at night to study employment law and employee relations. And I moved from a HR graduate, HR group administrator, and I'm the group HR generalist for kepak. So I support the sites across Ireland and the UK, both in terms of operational HR and then group recruitment, like we're doing today. So I'm 3 years with the company now, and I'm really enjoying establishing my career in HR and getting as much experience as I can, and being exposed to a huge variety of areas that you might necessarily get to do that in some businesses. So kepak are hugely supportive of that, and the HR network across the sites is brilliant, and you can pull on anyone for support. So who are we looking for? We're looking for hardworking and ambitious graduates of all disciplines and backgrounds, and we accept applications from any candidates with an undergraduate degree. But it's very important that your core values align with ours. So our values are responsibility, ambition, and passion for food and teamwork. So we have responsibility both to ourselves and to our customers to be providing good quality product, to have ambition to both pursue your career and to better the company. Passion for food, as I said, meat is at our heart. So innovation in that sense, and then teamwork, as James spoke about there. We are a team in kepak, and we look to everyone for support. So how to apply? So we have an application online. The deadline is the 31st of January 2022. So you have a good bit of time between now and then. There's no big rush, and it's just an online application. Then if you're successful, you'll be invited to a telephone interview to see if you're best fit for kepak, and if kepak is the best fit for you. Then if you're successful, we have an assessment center where we have some group exercises and interviews. And then the final step would be an in-person interview with one of our senior leaders within the business. And then if we were happy to offer and after reference checks, we're hoping to start graduates in September of 2022. And there's the link to apply. It's kepak.com/graduates. And like I said, the deadline is the 31st January 2022. So if you just go onto the website, you can see even more details than what we've spoken about, kind of graduate experiences. And we have a number of videos up there so you can kind of get a visual representation of what it's like. And with that, I thank you all very much for your time and to Catherine for supporting us with this. And if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them if you pop them in the question box, or please feel free to contact us directly. I'm sure Catherine will be able to pass on our contact details to you. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks a million, Ellen and James, for a really thorough overview of the graduate programme. And James, the insight that you've given in a most unique time to join any company with between Brexits and pandemics, managing to do a master's as well during all of that. You're a great ambassador for the company, I have to say. And what is also then is what you've done really well is connected your studies to what it is you're doing right now. I think that's really important for applicants who are looking at this now and being able to say how it is that I can make an impact in that application. So I know there will be questions from students who would be interested, Ellen, around that application process. And I know it's an online application process. Does that involve a CV or an application form? Do you want to give us some details on that?
A CV. So yeah. You upload a CV, and what I would kind of say, and I say to any people kind of working in HR, is to tailor your CV to us. Like, have a look at our website and see kind of what we're looking for. Show us your relevant experience. We're really looking for people who are genuinely interested in developing their career in the meat industry. So it's a tough industry. It isn't necessarily the industry for everyone, and we make no kind of, we don't hide anything about that. But to kind of look into us, see if we're the best fit for you, and then tell us why you're the best fit for us.
Yeah, and I suppose I would encourage anybody watching or those who are watching back on demand to look through those slides again. And as Ellen has outlined, there's sort of 4 key values there that they're asking you to connect to and make yourself connect to those. And as always, we do encourage students to engage with the Careers and Employability Centre here in DKT to help you with that application process, maybe getting that CV just in the right positioning for you so that you can be shortlisted. James, in terms
I'd always encourage people to go to use their careers centre in the relevant college. I know the one I had, I was on them the whole time, like, this is the job I'm applying for and this is the CV, does this match? Like, use the resources that are available to you. Yeah,
great, Ellen, because sometimes you feel that you don't know what way to pitch your CV, or have you got enough information on it. And I suppose with that, those who may be tuning into this is a particular day for science and agriculture, so we would have our ag science in particular tuning in, but there may be other students from different disciplines tuning in as well. And I know you've really outlined that you're open to students from all disciplines. If they don't have experience or maybe that background in the food industry, you're still open to those applications, aren't you?
100%.
Yeah,
100%. I know we're the two of us now both happen to study the same degree, but we have people within business who studied food science, food marketing, just straight ag science, say through an ag college or something like that. We are really looking for people who just have a genuine interest in the food industry and want to, say, explore it more through a rotational program, or to go straight into a streamline that's kind of relevant to your degree. If you have a genuine interest in the meat industry, I wouldn't be worried if you don't think your degree hugely matches. We are open to looking at people from a range of degree backgrounds.
Yeah. And listening to moving from logistics back to the lab, back to HR, to different areas, it shows you where the different angles can be. James, seeing as you're the freshest of the graduates, even though Ellen, you're not too far ahead either in terms of the years. Advice that you might give to yourself in your final year, most students who are tuning in are in their final year. What piece of advice would you give, knowing what you know now in terms of the application process or engaging in a graduate program?
I suppose when I first started, believe it or not, and Ellen might naturally believe me in this either, but kepak was the first job and the only job that I applied for, due to the fact being that I always loved the food industry. When I was in college, I worked in a fresh fruit warehouse. So I was sort of a quality lead on that as well. So I sort of loved the food industry as well. I love the business end of things as well. I suppose knowing what knowing then what I know now, I suppose don't worry. Your application, if you and the main thing is to get help. Like Ellen said, with your careers in college as well. Your career supports, like always go to them if you have any quarrels or any queries about anything about your CV. Is my CV good here? Is my CV bad here? Where do I need to improve on? Or because at the end of the day, you might have loads of experience, but you might be able to just get it on paper. That you just mightn't think of it at the time. So it's just about getting that out there. I suppose not to worry. Worrying was sort of a big thing of mine, and being nervous, and I suppose still trying to get over it. But I suppose the main thing is just be yourself. Look, listen, and learn. They're the three things that I sort of follow by as well. Um, just and to be open about whatever you go into. Example, like I went into the rotational end of things, and I was in the logistics, the technically on the operations. So I suppose I remained at open minded. At the time, I mightn't have. Let's just say when I was coming into this time of the year and my final year, I was like, "Oh my God, what am I going to do here? What if I don't like it? What if X, Y, and Z was going through my head?" So I suppose I was like, right, okay, just that's it. Remain open minded, and I suppose I always, as I said about the food industry, it was always a great interest, and I suppose I wonder. With my degree in agriculture, would that be of? I know it's relevant to a certain point, but would it be relevant for them? Would I be relevant for them? So like that, when I applied, went through the process as well. Um, Ellen rang me as well and went through the process of a quick chat about it as well, which was great. Ellen sort of put me at ease as well, knowing that everything is okay, and how to say just to be calm, I suppose as well. So which is very reassuring as well. So it was a very enjoyable experience, I have to say.
I think
Great.
a big one as well is to do interview practice as well. Is a big thing. Like
Absolutely,
even if
Ellen.
it's with someone at home or even through
Yeah.
your careers office or someone like that you maybe that's trust, a friend or something like that, just to saying the questions out loud. You can write down all your answers, but when
Yeah.
you're articulating them, you're like, oh, I'm not getting all my points across. So I think the practice is a great help as well.
Absolutely, we're singing the same song there, most definitely, and that's so
coming
true.
from the employer.
Yeah, exactly. Listen to the employers; they're saying it too. So yeah, look at great insights, great sort of tips from yourselves, and the honesty has been really appreciated. So thank you so much for that in terms of your experiences as well. We look forward to welcoming you back on campus when we are fit to do so again. And it just remains for me to say a final thanks and just to encourage those students to remember that closing date in January for applications.
Exactly.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks very much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, folks. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.